Live from Austin, Texas, soon to be land of 1,000 dead Dirks. It's Retro Pals with Danny and Alex. Hello, Alex.
Hello, Danny. Dirk is gonna die.
You're gonna be introduced to a man named Dirk very soon, and in setting up this stream, I killed him hundreds of times. No shit. Across all these systems we're gonna play, I saw that man die hundreds and hundreds of times, and he's gonna die hundreds of times more tonight, so I hope you're ready for that.
Did you see a skeleton?
Oh, I saw that skeleton. I saw it crumble. I saw it crumble and crumble many, many times over.
Wow, just like Pumpkin.
Yeah, exactly. Huh?
I don't know. Would you like me to thank some folks?
Alex, it's time to thank some folks.
All right, thank you, KrunkoCom, 46-month resub, Dick the Daring. Oh, this is going to be a
Yeah,
good
that's his name. Thank you.
Thank you, Fidget, for the 49-month resub. Do appreciate that quite a bit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Revender of Vengeance, for the 16-month resub. Do appreciate that very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Septicide 19, 58 months, 58, old as 58.
A whole ass 58. Thank you.
Thank you, Eltriac, 49-month resub. Thank you, thank you. I missed the QTE for 50 months. Maybe next time. Maybe next time.
Oh no, yeah, you got to repeat the sequence and then you'll get it next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Halibut Barn, 34-month resub. It's sad the dragons are the only ones who can even afford lairs anymore. It's true.
That's true. Nobody's talking about this.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Have you heard about the collapse of Air, Dragon, and Dragon? Anyways, Defiant Optimist donates 100 bits and a pride flag. Thank you, thank you. It's still Pride Month.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yaddle, 42-month resub. If a port doesn't have the Dutch Angle Castle, is it really Dragon's Lair? It's
That's
not.
true. That's a major consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Vagrant Wastrel, 51-month resub. Do appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mooware, for the $10 dono.
Oh,
and thank you for putting
you.
it towards our busted internet, which seems to be good for the time being.
It was busted earlier.
Yeah, we were without internet up until a half hour before the show. I was like, oh man, I put so much work into this, and then Spectrum's going to ruin it. But they didn't. God's blessings, they don't.
Thank you, All Hail Magambo, 49-month resub. Grover the Clown.
Yeah, Grover the Clown. Thank you.
No problems with a whole nice 69 months. Nice, thank you.
Super nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Devil Ray, 7-month resub. Are we going to see Dragon's Lair 2?
Oh man, everybody, if the stream goes well, and if you're all very good tonight, Friday is going to be completely dedicated to Dragon's Lair 2.
Holy shit.
So please look forward to that.
Thank you, Shaxpert, 73-month resub. 73 giddy goons. Do that in someone else's stream.
73 is a lot of months. Thank you for that.
That's a lot of months. Thank you, Polo Cat fan. 30-month resub. Dragon's Lair is cool. It is!
I agree. It's controversial, but I'd say it's cool.
Thank you, Nanaki Amano. 31-month resub. Heat wave. Power outages, tornadoes, houses on fire, excuse. Listen, our internet barely just came back up. So.
Yeah, it's bad enough we're dealing with this 100-degree heat, and there's a dragon with a lair I have to deal with. Ugh. Why do they put so much on me? I tell you what.
Thank you so much, Cipher Cat, 11-month resub. Happy Wednesday from New Brunswick, Canada.
Hey.
I hope it's nice and cool there. It is not cool here.
I hope so, too. Thank you for the sub.
Thank you, 68K Heart, for the 39-month resub. Do appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scratching Away, 36 months. That's 3 months. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's 3 whole months.
3 months,
Thank you.
I mean 3 years. God damn it.
Nope, it's 36 months, which is 3 months.
Okay, that's just 3 months. We divided the fraction of the months. Thank you, Laugh Boy, 27-month resub. Oh, yeah. Lair of the multiple deaths and frustrations.
Oh man,
good.
we are going to see so many deaths, so much FMV, so much laserdisc goodness tonight here on the Retro Pal stream. Oh man, I spent so much time putting this together, and all this shit's gonna go completely wrong once I finally bring it up. We're gonna have something like 15 or 20 different consoles on stream tonight. I hope it goes well and according to plan, and nothing breaks, and everyone has a fun time.
Nothing can possibly go wrong.
Shit. So we took a poll to our patrons last week, asking which of these games, originally to arcades, do you want to see jank-ass ports of? Turned out like this. Alright, so behind the scenes, I had this poll ready to go for a really long time. I drafted this out months ago. Could only think of 2 games though, Donkey Kong and Mortal Kombat. I was like, I need a third game, a midpoint between them. And then, let me go ahead and shout her out actually.
Okay.
And then Flannel Cat here on Twitch actually played a whole bunch of ports of Dragon's Lair, and I was like, yes, I will rip off that idea, as I often do. So thank you once again, Flannel Cat, for providing the inspiration for yet another Retro Pal stream. Let it be known, Flannel Cat did it first, and probably better.
Yeah, go check out Flannel Cat.
Yeah.
Rip-off pals, exactly. Thank you, Crush Gals, 34-month resub. Let's go, Dragon's Lair. Let's go.
Let's go freaking Dragon's Lair.
Go.
So, all right, here's another embarrassing thing I have to admit.
Cool.
I learned so much stuff for this stream, like how to make systems work and how to like manage it with OBS, that stuff I haven't practiced in years, I forgot about. So I had to relearn how to use Daphne, that janky-ass Laserdisc game emulator. I looked it up on Google and I found something amusing in the suggested search results. Is Dragon's Lair a real arcade game?
What the hell?
Is the very first question. So, literally 40 years later, this game still seems to be a kind of magic. Like, people look back on it knowing a little bit how games work, and especially how games in the 80s worked within their limited capabilities. And what they've come up with is, no, is this real? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it, right? In 1983, all these very primitive, like, Galaga-style games, Pac-Man-style games, then suddenly Dragon's Lair comes out. Like, what? Did this really happen? Is this some kind of Mandela effect thing? Is it real, or is it fake? We're going to find out how fake it is soon.
It's pretty fake.
Actually, it's real.
Oh, okay.
The cabinet looks like this. It is a Laserdisc-driven arcade game where you have to make button and joystick movements in order to progress the footage, basically. Yep, that covers it. The cabinet looks like this. It had a little angular thing.
Thank you, AI October. $10 £10 donation. Up with the LGBT plus spectrum. Down with the internet company spectrum.
Can we accept pounds? I guess so.
I guess so. And thank you, Nest Wyoming. 21-month resub with a hearty Kermit H. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, a Cipher Cat, gifting a sub to Simon. Welcome to the sub club. Enjoy your Kermit H's.
So seeing this in arcades, this made a definite presence, even without the Laserdisc footage. You notice how the marquee is kind of angular. They got a little platform for the control panel. And what you would do is you would look down into the screen, and in front of you was a separate screen consisting of LCD readouts of your score and stuff. So some of this was really primitive technology, and some of it was really like cutting-edge technology. Like super primitive LCDs merged with Laserdisc video footage of live action, or excuse me, animated footage. Quite a game, quite a game. So let's go ahead and play this. Alex, what do you think about Dragon's Lair?
I think that I loved Dragon's Lair as a kid, and I loved Laserdisc games, because even back then I was like, wow, it's magic!
It does, yeah, like the people ask, apparently. It is a kind of magic, where people wonder if it was just like a trick or something. No, this was a thing that happened with ROMs and Laserdisc players and Don Bluth animation. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's load up Daphne. Hope that it doesn't crash, and actually see what this looks like.
Thank you so much to Yomidian for the 12-month resub. That's a whole ass year. Wow, indeed. Thank you.
Wowie, a whole year. Thank you.
Wowie zowie. Got me watching Yowie. I'm sorry. That is... I
It's
have
currently
no rap or any rhythm inside of me except for the phrase wowie zowie. She got me watching Yowie.
It's approximately 160 degrees in the room we're
Please
broadcasting
understand.
from. So,
yeah.
Also, this is a little janky, so this footage has to run through all this first before it behaves normally.
Okay. Yep. Oh, there we go.
Dragon's Lair, a fantasy adventure where you become a valiant knight on a
Yeah,
quest to
ban me.
rescue
I really deserve that.
Okay, now for the real intro.
Okay.
Dragon's Lair, a fantasy adventure where you become a valiant knight on a quest to rescue
It's
the
him!
fair princess from the clutches of
I
a
love the dragon. Daphne, Dirk, whatever. I don't give a shit. That dragon, though.
That dragon, though.
To the castle of a dark wizard who has enchanted it with
I love Dark
treacherous
Wizard for Sega
monsters and
CD.
obstacles. In the mysterious caverns below the castle, your
This
odyssey
seems so
continues
fake. I
against the
love it.
odds
Yeah, doesn't it?
forces that have
They just got Don Bluth to animate a movie for them. That's so amazing.
Lead on, adventurer. Your
And it's good looking, too. It's really good looking.
Alright, so I wanted to get at least a little bit of footage of the original arcade version. The problem is it's interlaced and kind of looks like crap and doesn't really do the footage any kind of justice. I will play a couple of credits, though, and see how far we can get.
Okay.
Alright, here we go. It's Dragon's Lair. We're finally playing it on stream. Oops, you can't push it too early.
Danny, you died.
Drink me? Okay.
Danny, don't...
Oh, I'm bad at this.
You turned into cocaine.
Cool. Oh boy.
Okay.
We're in a situation now. Dope!
You died.
So if you're not familiar with this original arcade version, this is how it was. Home console ports had a structured set of levels. This just loads them up randomly, and it's just like, whatever, dude. Survive this. Phew, that's a tough one.
So would you say that the castle in Dragon's Lair is like Dracula's castle and that it is an ever-changing form?
Oh yeah, it is a creature of chaos. I'd say so.
Okay.
Like, look at that. That's pretty chaotic.
Thank you, Cartman, for the 100 bits. We were sailing on that Grimace Shake, weren't we?
Oh, don't go in there. Yeah, where's the Grimace? Is he at the end of the Dragon's Lair?
Oh, Dragon's Lair was in Stranger Things.
Oh.
That's why people are like, is this a real game? Okay.
I see. That makes more sense.
All
then.
right. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You were playing this in a Stranger Thing. That's so interesting.
Whoops. Gotta be a little quicker than that.
I guess they couldn't get the rights to Pac-Man or whatever.
Yeah, Pac-Man is really picky about what media he appears in.
Yeah, they're all. Have you seen the Pac-Man at the 7-Eleven? They have a specialty like strawberry drink.
Really?
Yeah, like it's like pinky strawberry milk or some shit like that. Sorry, I shouldn't curse too much. This is a
No, the
PG
bones.
game.
Thanks for the hype train, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, folks.
That's a hell of a hype train. Oh boy, here we go. This part reminds me of Sesame Street.
It does.
You think Elmo is rolling all these balls?
Yes.
Okay, wait for the third bounce, and then...
Welcome on.
No!
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it was a lot like the pinball segment of Sesame Street.
Oh, this segment's good. This is a classic Dragon's Lair segment. Yeah, let's go up here, and I like that there's a death animation for if you swing the sword. That's very specific. Really cool. Alright, one more credit.
Okay.
But just think about the impression this game made in 1983. How impressed you'd be at the arcade. How you'd go home thinking, oh my god, I want to play this at home. How do I do that? So tonight, I figure we should pursue the perfect port of Dragon's Lair.
Okay.
Like our forebears did in the 80s. Well, let's not drink that. Okay.
Can I just say something that I was discussing earlier with our roommate?
What? Shit. He didn't
Dirk
like that.
is animated so straightly. He is so straight. He is absolutely a straight man. There's no other way to see Dirk other than that. I'm sorry, I'm very much impressed that Don Bluth was able to animate someone so straight.
Yeah, it's very progressive.
I don't know how to say it. He's just very straight. There's no whiff of Disney villain at all on him.
Oh, damn it. I can never get the timing for that one.
Like, I look at him and I'm like, yeah, this is a regular, this is just a straight dude.
I like the way he screams there. A lot of good screams this guy does.
He's really good at screaming.
Yeah, there we go.
Cool. Hey, you're back here.
We'll do it this time. This animation, still amazing to this day. This is a fun game to look at.
And Kimbertian 100 bits. WarioWare, oops, all QTs. Thank you. Okay, Frappe mentions.
Look at these guys.
Apparently, the joke in Stranger Things is that they put all their quarters in the game and then they lose in 5 seconds when they play Dragon's Lair. That's actually pretty good. Okay.
That's true to life.
Yeah.
Man, that guy got eaten like 3 times in the space of 5 seconds. I think that's a new record.
Dragon's Lair, a fantasy adventure where you become a valiant
Well, that's
knight.
Dragon's Lair,
Quest to
the original
rescue the
arcade
Lair
version,
princess
as
from the-
preserved on Daphne with the original laserdisc image. So like I said, you'd see that at the arcade and be like, oh my god, I want to play this all the time. How can I do this? What home console can possibly hope to duplicate the great majesty of Dragon's Lair?
I'm not sure, but I hope one of them can. So first we're going to need a Laserdisc system, which I'm sure is very available in... When did Dragon's Lair come out? 83? 82? 85?
It was 83.
83.
And the first ports came out in 1986.
Oh, okay. So, okay, Laserdisc players may not have been around then, but there were some CD systems, so I'm sure there were some animation-capable consoles out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So for our next game, we're going to go with the very first port of Dragon's Lair available. I figure it's for a system that's more than capable of handling it. That's right, the ZX Spectrum.
No, okay, we're done. All right, thanks for watching, pals. This is gonna not be good. Oh my god.
What do you mean this is not going to be good?
Look at him. He's red with rage.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
All
That
right,
dragon.
Let's see if I can get this shit working. Stop the tape and turn it over, then press enter to play. Okay, there.
All right, there it is. The Dragon's Lair.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty,
The final screen was handled by one guy.
Wow. Must be an impressive screen.
Must be. All right, we gotta set up the freaking joystick. We have a Kimpston, I think.
We always have a Kempston. Let's get another joystick.
Okay, the tape is rewound. And away we go. Dragon's Lair on the ZX Spectrum. Looks just like the original arcade game.
Hey, there's a problem.
Now that's what I call that's what I call technology. See, the skeleton still comes apart.
No, the way your bones animate suck. Everything else, I'm like, okay, this is serviceable for the ZX Spectrum, but your bones just float around.
So this scene, we saw this in the arcade version, but
Look at that! No, your bones just. That's
this time
awful.
around, there's a gust of wind, I guess, blowing you around.
Okay.
That's a new challenge. Oh no, you don't. No, God, I'm terrible at this.
Danny, this seems hard.
He's got a snout. Yeah, this is basically Dirk the Daring, the best the ZX Spectrum could render anyway.
Dirk the Duck.
No, oh man, I only have 57 points.
I was gonna say, this is impressive for the ZX Spectrum, but...
This is a way you could do it. That is a way they chose to do it. God, I can never react fast enough. Which I guess is kind of like the arcade game in that way.
So it seems like instead of just doing QTEs, they're trying to actually gamify the concept of Dragon's Lair.
Like there's scenes from the game, but oh my god, it's so precise.
Tiger electronic ass vibes, yeah.
Pretty much. Still, for 86, I guess this is about the best you could do. I'm going to try a couple more lives. Okay, we made the jump. Oh, I see. You push the directions to go diagonally, and you have to push the right diagonal, and if you push any other direction, you die. So, like, down moves you down and right, and left moves you down and left.
Kind of glad this doesn't have music, yeah.
Ugh. Anyone play this? Anyone good at this? I'm sure not. Let's give this one more life. Oh, so close. Man. It's Dragon's Lair for the ZX Spectrum. Do you like it?
I like the way your skeleton bones go all over the place. That's cool.
That's pretty cool. So here's a hell of a thing.
Good bones.
On computers, what they actually did was divide this up into two parts. This game here, Dragon's Lair 2, is not Dragon's Lair 2 Time Warp. In fact, it is the second half of the original Dragon's Lair, as adapted for ZX Spectrum, so let's go ahead and play this. Escape from Sinja's Castle.
I like him. Okay.
You like the Lizard King? We haven't seen the Lizard King yet.
Yeah, I like the Lizard King a lot.
Turn the tape over and rewind. Done.
Hey, there's music now.
Yeah, they thought about adding music.
Good for them.
Yeah, give me that Kimpston. We're a Kimpston house here. There he goes. You saw that scene in the arcade.
Mm-hmm.
Looks just like it. And look at that. There's directional indicators that are like QTEs. Whoops.
Okay.
Should have just pushed up there, I guess. So they're trying to adapt it. It's just a little bit different, you know? How y'all liking this music?
I like that it struggles.
Oh, this time we're going left. Also, the inputs can actually be different in this game. They're not the same every single time, so in some ways this is superior to the arcade game. Right?
You know what? No.
Okay.
I can't.
I almost had
listen.
you going.
A lot of the appeal of the arcade game, at least to me, wasn't the QuickTime events or anything, but it was the fact that you were literally playing an animated movie.
Yeah, so adapting it in any sort of way is kind of a fool's errand, right?
It kind of is, yeah.
That's the challenge these developers faced. Publishers wanted an adaptation of Dragon's Lair. God damn it.
Actually, that is a good question. Since these seem like two different games, did two different teams work on this?
Could be, could be. That could have been the case that two different people worked on the two different games. Don't Danny me, you try and play this. I will give you the controller. And if you don't pull off a perfect
through
playthrough,
the internet?
I will parsec you. We're giving this one more attempt. Another thing you may have noticed about these games is that they're fucking impossible. They're so hard to control. The amount of time they give you is very insufficient, in my opinion. Why did you do that, Dirk?
Dirk's just going their own way.
Please
Dirk
ensure
goes their own way.
that the tape is fully rewound. Dragon's Lair for the ZX Spectrum.
Dragon's Lair.
Well, I think we can do a little bit better than that. The ZX Spectrum maybe not up to the task of emulating an arcade laserdisc game. Maybe the Amstrad CPC will be a little bit better. Christ, how do I do this? I have to remember this every time. Okay, you gotta mount the disc.
Okay.
This is educational content for anyone who tries to play Amstrad games. I know we do this every time we have to play one.
It's
So
for
this-
all the people who haven't seen it before.
This console also had Dragon's Lair 1 and 2, Escape from Sinja's Castle. Microcomputer, I mean, sorry, not console. Let me look at my notes. Type cat.
I'm always typing cat.
Run Shift 2 DL. And that should work just fine. Eventually. You're learning? Good.
Good.
I hope everyone's learning here. Yeah, someone typed you, Strawbros. We typed cat and
Yeah.
summoned you. Well, hey, we have music in this one.
Hey, this looks good. Okay. This is pretty dank.
A real Dragon's Lair would be pretty dank. Alright, let's get her started.
Let's go.
So this is the same game, essentially, as the ZX Spectrum game, but it has actual music, and should look a little bit better, probably. That text was scrolling way too fast.
Yeah. Oh my god! It's Marble Madness!
Well, this is actually another scene from the ZX Spectrum game that we didn't get to see. They make you fucking jump with space in this, so I have to dual wield a keyboard and a joystick right now.
Yeah. Danny's using... This is a... That is some incredible technique.
This
Danny's
is a real
got the
gamer feat.
keyboard-
Nobody even realizes.
Yeah, Danny's got the keyboard in their lap.
I'm using my ring finger to hit the space bar.
Mm-hmm. It's really impressive. I wish I could show you.
There you go.
I like that skeletonization more. Because they all fall into a pile and then stay there and then turn back instead of just like going all over the place.
The perspective on this is bad. It kind of is. I don't know
Yeah.
what perspective they're going for. Possibly all of them. Also, every time you jump, regardless of if you make it, the platform you were previously on disappears. I didn't even fall, dude. I didn't even fall. Look at those twerking dinos. Yeah, look at them go. You don't see these in the actual arcade game, or these Singe's little kids.
Yeah, they're his buddies. You're just killing his children. You like that? Are you happy with yourself, killing children? I see. I see what kind of gamer you are.
What are you, a
I'm
mid-2000s
judging you.
video game? Are you a mid-2000s video game?
I am. I'm judging you.
Where's my morality meter?
Your morality meter is at fail because you're killing children.
Damn, that's an epic fail if I've ever seen one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look at this, though.
Hey, you're doing good.
I guess this is somewhat like the arcade game in that there's little dragons and there's a guy with a sword and he turns into a skeleton when he dies, but I'm looking for a little more fidelity to the original material, I guess.
A little more laserdisc.
A little more laserdisc. Oh my god!
Come on!
That's the furthest I've ever gotten. Fuck this game, I'm rage quitting right now.
Yeah, no, please rage quit. You deserve it, honey.
God. I'm so upset. So, this version made its way onto a few different computers. We're gonna see the last one here. What do you suppose this looks like on the old C64?
I'm interested because, you know, I've seen, it wasn't for the C64, but I did see how All Dogs looked on DOS, and that was pretty interesting, so.
It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it sure was.
Christ, how do you do this? Okay, it's on disk.
Okay.
It's under D for Dragon. And this console microcomputer also had the two different games, Dragon's Lair and Escape from Singe's Castle. Can't we just play Dreamgirls? Please?
No.
Okay. Then what is it? Fucking Shift Escape? What are you, a fucking psycho? That's actually a shortcut, believe it or not. You're supposed to type, like, load asterisk something.
Okay, I like the color palette here.
You can't keep a good dog down. It's
That's
true.
true. No matter how hard you try.
Mm-hmm.
Can't keep a good dragon down either.
Is that true?
No, you can get us down pretty easy.
Alright, well, this one starts with a text scroll, and that Sid Chip music you all know and love.
Yeah, no crack-tro this time, but...
A peaceful and prosperous kingdom. Now it had many treasures, but its greatest was the king's only child. But her heart was given to another, Dirk the Daring. Okay, let's start the game.
I like the music.
This looks familiar.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Well, well, well. Fuck.
Alright, let's see how bad the skeleton is.
Alright.
This is much better. Okay, this is the best skeleton so far.
Hey, Play SM64, welcome.
Welcome.
We're looking at skeletons. God!
I'd give this skeleton a 4 out of 5.
Would you?
Yeah.
I guess it's pretty good.
The original Dragon's Lair skeleton, 5 out of 5.
That is an ultimate skeleton. You can't get any better than that.
Excellent skeleton.
What did the... He just... He stood there and flailed his arms, and then he died. Is this one harder than the other ones? Am I progressively getting worse at these games?
I think you are.
I thought I was doing pretty good at the Laserdisc game, but man, this is like the ultimate challenge here. Well, alright, Dirk.
I'm sorry.
Alright, Dirk, maybe you can go fuck yourself. Have you ever considered that? Like going to...
Come on.
Just
come
going...
on.
Just going to fuck yourself. I think you should do that, Dirk. Alright, so that is the 1986 adaptation of Dragon's Lair for ZX Spectrum, Commodore 64, and Amstrad CPC. They, did they try? I was gonna say they tried, but I don't know. Maybe they couldn't do better. Maybe that's the best you can expect from 1986 on microcomputers. I shouldn't give them too much shit.
Okay.
You know what's a computer that could do this, though? That could very feasibly emulate this game. The Amiga.
Oh, you're right, you're right.
Hey, Cambrian Area, thanks for the sub.
Oh, thank
53
you.
whole months.
That's a lot of months. Yeah, you're an RP boomer now. Welcome.
Okay, Amiga time. Hang on, I can do this. I'm going straight from CPCville to Amiga Town. I'm Joker-fine by the second.
Thank you, SneakerNets. 48-month resub. How many months is this? It's 48. It's a lot. Thank you.
Hey, Amiga Launcher, you want to launch? Thank you.
There it is. Yay. I thought Funny Bones was a candy shaped like bones. I didn't know it was a cartoon. I'm learning so much today.
All right,
Do you remember
Dragon's
the Funny
Lair.
Bones candy? Am I just going crazy?
I think I actually do.
Okay, good.
Oh, thanks, Amiga Launcher, for loading up 2 separate launchers.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Double the Amiga, double the fun.
Yeah, it is a candy. I'm staring at it right now. What's going on in this world?
Here we are. Dragon's Lair, a Randy Linden production. Randy Linden,
Of a Don Bluth game.
you may not know his name, but he's kind of a genius programmer. He's behind Bleem, the PlayStation emulator, along with a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yo, Bleem! You gotta love Bleem.
You gotta love Bleem.
You actually really do.
And we have an actual team working on this. They threw a lot of people at this port, including the famous Mike Nuke and Larry Chase.
Larry, Chase the Chuck Wagon. He didn't work on Chase the Chuck Wagon. I'm just being a dick.
The sound is very loud all of a sudden.
Okay. Number 1 complaint is done. This is animated.
Yeah, look at that.
This is cutscenes. Holy shit.
They went and did it. They went
Oh
and put
my
the
God.
original experience on the Commodore Amiga. Look at this shit.
Well, this is it. This is my favorite version so far. They're actually trying to do it.
Nice. Middle of the sword swing, you gotta push up. Timing is very important in some of these ports. The timing on a lot of these ports, I'm going to point out, is very, very different from the arcade version and much more difficult. Okay, let's drink it. Drink that Amiga potion. Oh! Well,
Don't.
they kind of truncated that a little bit, but it got the point across. Okay, so here's the problem with this port. This is not the whole game. This is something like 6 or 7 scenes from the arcade game. You can beat this in literally like 6 or 7 minutes. It is only a small portion of scenes that are available in the arcade game. But, in terms of fidelity and actual resemblance to the original product, this looks freaking amazing.
It's impressive.
And yeah, there's mirrored scenes too. They can even do that. Let's do another credit.
Okay.
Man, the Amiga kind of kicks ass in some ways. Out of every system, I wouldn't have known if any system at the time would have been able to duplicate Dragon's Lair, yet here we are. Is purple the most memeable color in existence? Is that why I like it?
I think so.
Because of the memes? Mm-hmm. Now, most importantly, you know what the most important part of this port is?
What?
The boops and beeps. You need the original boops and beeps from the arcade game to provide feedback on whether what you're doing is good or not so good. And a lot of ports, they didn't include the boops and beeps, and they're much worse off for it.
I agree.
What do you think of the sound here, by the way?
God, yeah, right.
It sounds a lot like All Dogs Go to Heaven.
God, you're right, Miss T. This, doing the whole, time gal thing, but...
Yeah, they redrew all these frames. They had a team of people working on this to actually render the original laserdisc footage on the Amiga. I looked into this, and for this and the later port of Dragon's Lair 2, they didn't even have access to the laserdisc footage. They were sent a VHS tape. So that just makes the up conversion even more difficult.
That's
because
incredible.
The VHS is not nearly as good as laserdisc footage. So they make you do every scene in flipped mirrored mode, I guess? That would make sense. Since they don't have much content to work with. Reminds you of Panic for Sega CD? Yeah, a lot of wet mouse noises in this. Oh, here we go. We know this scene. Alright, he's a little bit too big for this room in this version, but
A little bit.
otherwise, it looks pretty good. Well, they would just have the footage from Dragon's Lair on the VHS tape. That's how they would trace it. Like Dragon's Lair 2 especially. Having to source that from VHS.
Yeah, I'm assuming the mirroring in this, of these scenes is just to kind of extend gameplay.
Our quest has ended.
Aw.
Damn. Well, luckily, also on Amiga, was an adaptation of Dragon's Lair 2, Escape from Singe's Castle, that being, you know, Dragon's Lair 1.5
Okay.
on the old ZX Spectrum and stuff. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like on the Amiga.
I hope we finally get to see Singe.
I think we want the fast version. This better be fast.
I mean, it's called the fast version, so it should be.
Seems fast.
Dragon's Lair for the Action Max. Christ, I wish. Okay.
Look at this interface.
Look at this.
You can control this with the D-pad even. You don't gotta use a mouse. Hexagon Witch, thank you for the sub.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Spectrum did finally decide to cooperate. They're back, baby.
Yeah, in record time, right before stream, they managed
Literally
to...
right before stream, it was really funny.
I was ready to call it. I was ready to go back and say, Alex, we're not streaming tonight, but
Then
we're doing it.
We're working. All right. So, I'm assuming this isn't going to be as good as the other one. Oh. Okay. Take it. Oh, never mind. I take it back. This is good.
And look
Great
what they
skeleton.
added. They added inputs that tell you what to do, so you can actually play this game.
This looks amazing. Holy shit.
So in just a couple years, they managed to pretty much perfect their porting formula. Oh, here's the copy protection. It's this one.
Okay.
Now, the FPS could use a little work, but in terms of delivering the actual experience, you're not going to get any better than this at this time.
This is so impressive.
It is. I have so much more respect for the Amiga now, just knowing that it was capable of this, much less actually delivering it in a purchasable product. This isn't some weird homebrew. They actually went and did this. Well...
You're taking to the Lizard King's Lair. Great skeleton. Amazing skeleton. A+. Best game so far.
Alright, let's see if we can beat the Lizard King. Spartanberry!
Thank you. 49 months. Love that Alex is the sort of mischievous enough to make game and play Hudson Hawk friend, yes. But loving to not play Hudson Hawk C64, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alright, let's see if we can beat the Lizard King. It keeps flipping the footage on us. We haven't yet seen the original arcade version of this, but I have a feeling on Amiga this is gonna look hella good.
I wish the Lizard King would bonk me on the head.
Hey! Damn! Look at that shit!
Nice.
Some kids were playing this in 1991. Those lucky kids. Those lucky ducks.
100 bits from Cartman, thank you. Dirk is getting dragged a lot. Yeah, they're dragging his ass in the quote retweets.
Yeah, this is a Dirk Dragon stream. What do you think of these guys?
Why are their asses so massive?
Don Bluth.
That's fair.
We haven't discussed that. Don Bluth's animation style. This is a guy who got famous off of movies like The Secret of Nim and others. He was an ex-Disney guy, I think.
He was.
Fantastic animation, and as people pointed out, a lot of fetishes present in his animation.
He worked on Pete's Dragon. He redid a lot of animation for them, and they screwed him so bad he quit. They refused to, I think, give him the overtime pay or something at Disney, and then he was just like, goodbye.
Now, the Don Bluthness in Dragon's Lair 1 is pretty restrained outside of Daphne herself, but Dragon's Lair 2, all bets are off, so if you want to see a Friday stream of Dragon's Lair 2, again, I recommend checking out us playing Dragon's Lair 2 on Friday. Yeah. It's the kind of game we can only play on a Friday evening. It's that much. It's that much, and it's a lot. But for now, let's enjoy the comparatively chaste Dragon's Lair 1.
Yeah, Ferngully isn't Don Bluth. Anastasia is. And so is Titan AE, a film no one talks about, which is a shame.
No one's seen it.
Not because it's good, but because it's very interesting in the ways that, like, If I recall, the backgrounds are CG, but they're animated at a different frame rate than the people walking, and it made me so nauseous I had to turn the movie off.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, let's all talk about Rockadoodle and the Pebble and the Penguin. Let's
Fucking
go.
Rockadoodle, oh my god. So a lot of Don Bluth's movies are kind of like nightmare fuel for 80 entire minutes. I would say Rockadoodle and Pebble and the Penguin fit into that category.
Rockadoodle definitely, especially the menacing song where they sing about how the flashlight is out of batteries, and the lyrics are just like, ha 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 ha, no batteries. I think about that anytime I run out of batteries. I'm like, ha ha ha, no batteries.
No batteries. Who are those big butt booty boys? Did it just loop back to the main menu? I think I beat the game.
Did Troll in Central Park lose 30 million? That makes sense. I tried to watch that movie and I got 10 minutes in.
It looped my score back around, so I guess
sucks.
I guess I got as far as you can get on easy mode. There's also modes that turn off the inputs in case you want a true challenge, but this is a pretty good port. This is pretty great. You were really into Rockadoodle as a kid? A lot of kids were. I bet a lot of kids had that on VHS tape and just watched it all the time.
Did a Troll in Central Park open against Beauty and the Beast? That's so funny.
Okay, are we done with Amiga? Can I put the Amiga aside for now? I think we're actually done with the Amiga. Thank you, Amiga, for performing well during the stream. Always bet on Amiga, that's what I always say.
Okay. No, that's not what you say. You don't like the Amiga at all. Don't listen to Danny's lies. Danny's just saying that because the Amiga performed well.
Okay, so we've seen incapable computers try to adapt Dragon's Lair. We've seen capable computers adapting Dragon's Lair. Each succeeded on its own merits, I think. You can be, that's kind of a nice way to put it. But they decided to spread out. Years and years later, people were still talking about Dragon's Lair. Even after all the Laserdisc machines broke, even after the game left arcades, people were like, we want Dragon's Lair. I don't care about if it's possible or a good idea. We want it, and we want it now. So this is the new era of Dragon's Lair adaptations, starting with Dragon's Lair for NES. Do this, and this, and this, and we should have a game. Oh, I should note the 86 Dragon's Lair was also ported to ColecoVision by homebrew developers in 2012. So if you want to play that game on ColecoVision, you can. How's our music looking? Is this good? Is this drowning me out?
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm expecting motive time or movie time?
Motive time. I
Motive?
don't know what motive time means.
That is such a menacing name. Like, here's my motive for murder, this bad game. I played this game. Oh my god.
This is what Dragon's Lair on NES looks like. No, you don't get to see the demo play it. They forgot that part.
Okay, so it's 2D, unlike the other ones, which even attempted 3D. That's very interesting.
Yep, it's this game. Alright, I'm just gonna walk forward and, well, alright. Sure.
Skeleton did look good. I will say that.
Alright, we walk forward and the dragon is, okay, we fall in the pit, alright.
Danny! A Troll in Central Park only grossed 71K!
Oh my god, that's a disaster.
That's so cool!
So this is how you beat this scene. You gotta walk forward, jump up, and you have to go all the way back here and very carefully throw daggers at this serpent thing. If you touch the serpent, or if his fire hits you, you die instantly, you collapse into bones. And if you walk into the door before you beat the dragon, the door also kills you, you collapse into bones. So once again, what they've gotten first and foremost is the fact that you die all the time in this game. That's what they considered important enough to port. These things are instant kills. Notice how you have a life meter? I'd like to ask about that. Because everything in this game kills you instantly. These you gotta climb under. Oh, whoops.
I will say, this is graphically impressive for the NES.
Yeah, he's big. He's got a lot of frames of animation.
He sure does.
It's not a port of the original mechanics or anything, but it gets the point across, I suppose. It's a really difficult game where you're in a fucked up castle.
Oh, damn! Thank you so very much, Prince Hordkin, for the 2,000 bits! Happy Pride Month to you, too! Thank you
Holy
so
crap,
much.
thank you. Happy Pride Month.
It's still Pride Month, baby!
No, I forgot about the thing! I gave it a kiss.
Oh, good question. This is kind of like Dark Castle. Would you rather play this or Dark Castle, Danny?
Oh, that's a good question. This game, you may have heard, is not very good. People tend not to like this one. I think I prefer this over the console Dark Castles, though.
Same, actually.
Maybe not the, maybe not the original version.
That was very close.
Maybe that E. I think this is the furthest I've ever gotten in this game. Prince Hortkin, thank you for the community gift subs.
Thank you. Welcome to Sub Club, Sturlock and Jordan.
Shit, I'm fucked. I'm so
Danny's
fucked. I'm fucked. I'm
He's gonna
fucked.
get lizard. He's gonna get bonked.
Oh.
Oh, don't worry about it. Never mind.
That didn't even take off any health.
Yeah.
This is a mysterious game. D.
D for Dirk, Dragon, Don Bluth.
Ooh, that was close.
Nice.
That could have easily been an instant death. What? Come on. Really?
Layer 1, you have a high score.
Rub end. Tom, Dick, ass!
Well, Sullivan Bluth Interactive Media. Don't know what I can say about that other than, good job.
Well, that's the original version they first released in North America. They also released versions in Europe and Japan, so why don't we check out the Japanese Famicom version? Just for completeness sake. You know, I gotta be thorough.
Okay.
They brought Sony into this. Sony co-published this. Sony Music Entertainment, even. Music sounds a little different, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
They really, it's got a little pep in its step. It's really picked up a little bit. Let's see how the game looks. Wow. Alright, well. They sped this up by 300%.
Oh my god, Danny!
I'm not quite sure why. Weird thing is that they removed the jump button and mapped up to jump? I don't know what the deal is with
That's
that.
very Amiga.
But they did it. Otherwise, this is considered to be a more polished and complete version of NES Dragon's Lair because it's more forgiving. Somewhat. And in general, it's just much smoother to play if you're familiar with it. It also adds a couple of new animations, like that one.
Oh, look at you!
Those are his feet, not antenna. He didn't turn into a snail.
I thought it was a snail. I thought it was snail mode. I thought that was pretty cool.
Snail mode would be pretty cool. If only they thought of it. Alright, so anyone familiar with both versions want to tell me which one you prefer? I'm curious if this is actually better, because it seems to me that it plays really, really fast. Like,
yeah.
too fast to react to.
Yeah, I'm with Chad. This does look unnatural.
Now, either this or the European version also added a code for more extra lives if you want. You enter your name as Bats on the high score screen.
Oh, okay.
Fuck! I forgot up was jump. They fooled me. Oh, there's checkpoints! They added checkpoints in this! There you go. Now that's how you make a video game. Never mind, it sucks.
You get smacked in the head.
To the Joker, this is a normal game.
It's a normal game to the Jorker, too.
Was the Grink there?
The Jorker, I'm sorry, that's cool. This is the NES version of the game. This is the specifically revised version where it's way fast.
Yeah, for the Famicom. The European version also got the fast speed, so I guess for most regions, this is the definitive edition release.
Chad is roasting your ass over the Jorker.
Of course they are.
That's fair enough.
Like you never called the Joker the Jorker. Well, okay.
You just walked
All
into
right.
that.
Yeah, sure. I do like that they added more checkpoints here. That makes it feel less frustrating when you do die in this. Now this, I'm pretty sure, is a new record. I've never been this far. How do I get him?
Can you jump and throw? You can die.
No. No, you can't. Seraphis Kane, thank you for the 100 bits. I'm getting Jorker-fied over here.
The Jorker Special Liquid, thank you. I'm always thinking about Jonkers Special Liquid. you know that, right? You know about Jonkers?
Tell me about
anyways.
Jonkers. I want to hear about the Jonkers.
Oh, I'll have to show you later, but Jonkers has a special liquid, and that's all you need to know.
Oh, all right. Well, that's how Dragon's Lair appeared on NES across the world. But it also appeared on the Super Nintendo. Dragon's Lair for Super Nintendo. That's your intro. I'm sticking with it. Published by Data East, because of course it is. Motive Time. They're back. And they're thirsty for blood. I guess these are jams.
I like this. Oh, it's more Motive Time.
Yep. Alright, we're ready to go. Let's do this. You ever seen this game, Alex?
No, I haven't.
This is, it's a hell of a thing. I'm surprised it exists.
Ooh, passwords. We gotta see the password screen.
Yeah, we should see the passwords.
Okay,
let's
cool.
Let's see what the actual game looks like first.
I like the music. I like this. Okay, I'm here for this. You know me, the SNES idiot.
The SNES idiot.
Yeah, that's gonna be my.
That's
it's
my
way
favorite
too
YouTube
late
channel.
to do YouTube, but that's gonna be my. I'm gonna try to break into YouTube with the SNES idiot.
Why is Inspector Gadget the menu icon? It does look like him. So, well, we've gotten pretty far away from the original formula at this point.
This is just the platformer.
They turned this into a straight-up platformer-ass platformer. With extremely terrible controls. You slide around all over the place. You have ridiculous momentum, especially in midair. It's so hard to get used to. You have unlimited projectiles. You also have a sword attack that you can just prime for infinite amount of time. God, he's so slippery.
He is slippery.
He does
Hate
that? That's his duck. You can't even attack when you're ducking. Oh boy, you can't even stay still for a while because Singe's head.
Singe off.
Singe's head starts attacking you. Well, you hearing these screams?
I was gonna say a lot of screams in this game. A lot more screams than I'm expecting.
He's a screamy guy in the original, so that makes sense. Oh, look, it's the Black Knight. Skeletonized.
Wow, he died.
Let's try that again.
That guy does look like Inspector Gadget.
Does this look like a Devil Bubsy? Everybody start better judging this. We're gonna rate this eventually.
God. I do love the screams. I do love the screams. There should be more screaming in video games.
I think I would like this game if the controls weren't horrible. They're really bad. I just want to run around and slice things, and instead it's just this slip-slidey adventure. Like your Sonic the Hedgehog, all greased up. Now there's an image.
No! I don't want to see that! Ugh!
Now here's the worst part of this game. Alex, so help me God, this game is non-linear. There's multiple exits in each level. You get taken backwards, you go in circles. You have to find hidden exits that aren't at all obvious. You could play this game for a really long time and just end up going in a circle and not making any kind of progress whatsoever. That is something that's not like the arcade game. The arcade game is very straightforward. I don't know who they thought they were adding all this complexity to the game.
I don't think Dragon's Lair needs that.
Yeah, it needs less complexity. Make it so I just push a button to make the dragons die. I've upgraded my shot, I guess. God, this game's weird. I used to see this on the rental shelves all the time, but I never rented it. I think I made the right choice.
You did, you did. I also never played or rented this. I did play the Dragon's Lair NES version, though, and I remember
You
playing
did?
it. Yes! And being like, wow, this sucked, and then bringing it back, so...
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Alright, so Alex's back in the day original experience was, quote, that sucked. Take that, Don Bluth.
I mean, I was hoping it would be like, because I had played the arcade game in like a pizza parlor or something, and I was like, wow, this is so cool.
The balls, the dragon's head, it's too much.
Good skeletonizing, though, I will say that.
It does have the good skeletonizing. I gotta give it that.
Yes, the Dragon Balls, Dragon Balls, Dragon Balls.
Very true, very true. Now, there's also a somewhat infamous PAL version of this game. Why don't we check that out?
Okay.
This PAL version adds something that's not in the US version whatsoever.
Does it add,
That's right, it's a screen that says Elite on it.
Okay, hey, it's Elite!
Mm-hmm.
I know them. Good to see them.
Good to see you guys, Elite. Do a lot of good work
Is
on
this
the
going
old
to go
ZX
really
Spectrum.
fast, too?
This is the same speed, I think. I think they've
Okay.
accounted for the difference in PAL frame rate. Is the video too big?
Oh, it is!
Son of a... How does it... Alright, thank you for pointing that out.
Thank you, sorry.
I didn't know that would be an issue. You know, these PAL developers always making their games too big. I hate when they do that.
Same.
Make your games smaller. Smaller games. I want smaller games with worse graphics. And I am not kidding.
And I'm gay.
And I'm gay.
That's a part of that slogan people always miss. They miss a part where it says, and I'm gay. And that's really
Alright,
really
there we go.
unfair.
Okay, so we already played level 1 of this, so we should probably show something off. Alex, why don't you enter a password for me?
Okay, cool password screen. Let's see. What? Okay, the password is B. What?
Okay, the password is 1A, 3B, 5C, 6D. Can you handle that? The fact that they make you use the underwater controls while you do this.
Is it really that?
It's
What is a password?
The password is 1A, 3B, 5C, 6D.
But there's no
It's very simple. No, see, the numbers are at the bottom. You got to push them into the little
Oh my
bits.
god! Are you kidding me? All right, what is
Also, to go up in the water, you need to rapidly mash the button, which is extra cool. This is all just for entering a password. by the
Okay,
way.
so what's the password?
All right,
well-
the password is 1A. You've
I've
already
already
fucked up
fucked
the
it
A.
up.
Why don't you put B and number 3? I think you can do that.
Okay.
Let me note the US version has a completely normal password screen where you just enter a sequence of numbers and then
Why
you go
would
to
you
the
do
level you want
this?
to play.
Did you hate children?
Well, I have an answer for that actually, but we'll get to that.
This is the worst.
As people pointed out, there is a time limit here, so this is a password screen where you can die. And if you die, your password is forfeit and you gotta start all over.
Buck, look at this. Look at my life. Look at my horrible life. No! Do you go backwards and I die? No.
You still have time to push it to the left.
I'm trying.
Like, you gotta push it like really hard to the left. Just bump into it from the right and push it to the
Okay,
left.
go. Move.
And that's how I can get Alex, if you can get a legit letter of this password correct, I will be very impressed with you. Oh, go. Keep going. Yeah. Oh my god, you're gonna do it! Alex entered a successful portion of the password. It's not all of it, but 3B is one of the letters you
Why
need to
is
enter.
this so hard?
Now, all you need to do is push the other 2 letters in the right place and also reset the game because you fucked up one of the letters. D is 6D, so if you want to try putting that in the 6, that's fine.
That should be easy.
Oh yeah, that's right there. There you go.
Alright, let's go.
Let's see if Alex can enter a full password. Supposedly this sequence has been on Kuso Grande before, not the game itself, but just the password entering sequence. This is such a fucked up evil idea.
Why?
And yeah, the whole air bubble thing is a complete invention for this, so they like worked extra hard to make this super fucked up and annoying.
I got 2 in.
Okay, what's the last one you got? Maybe it's on the right. Alex, you've mastered the controls in record time. This does have really shitty underwater controls. There's a lot of momentum, and like I said, you need to mash the button to move up.
It's really difficult.
Yeah, I think the last letter is on the right. It's okay, you have 6 more minutes. That's a lot of
Okay,
time,
we
but
got
you do
this.
need to hurry this up. Oh, there it is. There's the C. The C is 5, so 5C. I think there's already something in the 5, though.
Okay, hold on. Try to...
This mechanic alone might make this the worst port of Dragon's Lair, I guess. I guess if you wanted to actually progress through the game using the password.
Okay.
So effectively, to me, the European version of this game
Oh, come on!
is a single sitting playthrough. You can't enter this password consistently.
This is hell.
No, this is normal password entry.
This
How long have you been playing video games? You know how to enter passwords.
I can't make this jump. Okay, everybody, wish me luck. I'm gonna try.
Okay.
Going from all the way back here. Okay,
Oh, he's gonna get a big run up. There we go.
Fuck me! Okay, no. This is it. This is the run. This is the run. Here we go. Here we fucking go.
All right, Bubble Dirk, it's your time to shine. Let's go. Ooh. No.
I'm gonna drown myself.
Then it bodies Dragon Lair.
Oh! Are you kidding me?
Yeah, now you're getting it. Now you
I
get
just
it.
had to walk backwards? Wow, normal. There we go. Where does the C go? Dirkville?
It goes in 5, but I think there's something already in 5, so
Oh,
just put this
fuck.
anywhere. You did enter 2 of the letters correctly for the last level password, which is the hardest one to enter, so good job. Why don't you put that in the 4?
I like how I feel like when I'm in this position in the bubble, I'm crying.
It's kind of like a fetal position.
No!
Oh, Alex.
Well, this is what I did. Gaze upon my words and deeds.
In despair.
Thank you, Cinco Play. 11-month resub.
Hack Dragon's Lair. That's the password
I
screen.
don't know what to do now.
The password screen of your nightmares. You're soft locked.
I'm soft locked, everybody.
Reset the system and try again.
How do I reset? I give the controller to Danny. That's what I do. That was...
Good work, Alex. Thank you for being a good sport. Okay, so someone mentioned, why would you put this in this game? Well,
Yeah.
there was that thing in the 90s about anti-rental programming mechanics, how they would make games artificially more difficult to curb rentals, make it so kids couldn't finish the game in one sitting. Well, here's the thing. We actually do have a definitive answer as to why they put this in. Was this put in to curb rentals? Was it something added later on by freakos and perverts to ruin the entire world?
Yeah.
We have a prototype version.
Okay.
We have a prototype version. So, the conclusion we can draw here is maybe this wasn't in the prototype version and it was added later on to curb the rentals. That's what I'm thinking, so let's go ahead and boot this up.
Okay.
This is a European prototype. This game was developed in Europe, so that is where the proto would come from. Pretty early days here.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and let's just see what the actual game looks like.
All right.
Okay, so at this stage, they have the Mode 7 castle. This is looking pretty, okay, they got the map area. And it looks like they... Wow, he's so slippery. He's even more slippery in this!
No.
Whoa, how'd they make it more slippery? Alright. Okay, I'm gonna tell you when... I'm gonna hold right, and I'm gonna tell you when I let go. I'm gonna say now when I let go. Now. He walked...
Wow!
He walked for 2 whole seconds after I released the button. Okay, so... Aside from the physics, this looks pretty complete in terms of level design. The one thing they haven't added is music and sound effects, I guess, so this is an in-development version of the game that would indicate whether they had that password screen planned. So let's go ahead and reset. Find out if that's the case. What's your bet, Alex? Is this just going to be a normal password screen?
I have a feeling it's going to be a little twisted. I feel that vibe. Tess is coming out to see.
Hey, Tess.
Hey, Tessie.
All right,
Let me
password
take her out.
time. All right, here it is.
Okay, here it
Was
goes.
this in from the beginning, or was it just added at the behest of publishers to curb rentals? Yes, it was in there from the beginning. Those freakos and perverts had this in their original vision for the fucking game. I'm not kidding. This is literally the case.
Perverts, huh?
This was more important to them than sound effects and music, Alex. They developed this before they developed the sound effects and music. And they made it colors instead of letters, so it would be even more difficult. So isn't that cool? And in this prototype version, you only have 3 minutes to enter the password. So if anything, they wanted to make it even more difficult.
Sorry, I was letting the cat out. 3 minutes?
3 minutes.
Evil!
So that's cool. I'm glad we have an answer to that thanks to game preservation. This wasn't just something added in. This is something they thought was a good idea and we're in fact very proud of.
All they literally did was add letters to it, so yeah, it's colorblind friendly. Wow.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Video game history is pretty cool.
Okay, so Codeman earlier mentioned a quote from the devs about why this was the way it was. Can I read that?
Yeah, go ahead.
The password level has been carefully designed to complement the skill of the experienced player. A novice would find it very difficult to enter the more advanced passwords. This will prevent inexperienced players from taking a peep at later levels.
Well, it did prevent Alex from doing that, so mission
sure
accomplished. Did. There's one more version of that game I want to see, the side-scroller for Super Nintendo. They almost ported this to Mega Drive and Sega Genesis, and there is a prototype version that was dumped of that, so let's check that out real quick. Dragon's Lair, USA Proto MD. MD stands for Mega Drive.
Oh.
And also it has a doctorate. It was going to be published by Taito! That's so fucked up for many reasons. 93... It's way too late for Taito to be releasing Sega Genesis games. They capped out pretty early on that system. But I guess this was under consideration, so let's see what this is all about.
Cool dithered background.
Very Genesis looking.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as I know, this is the complete game that was fully finished and just shelved, never released. I see. So you got your axes, you got your sword, you got your jump.
Danny, I hate that password screen.
You still thinking about it?
Yes! That is the worst password screen I've seen in my life.
It's pretty cool.
No! No, it's not cool. There are many things that should be emulated from old games. That password screen is not one of them.
You know what's even more fucked up? The most fucked up thing of all about this whole game? The password screen included. This Mega Drive version plays 500,000% better than the Super Nintendo version because it does not have the ridiculous momentum. You can actually play and enjoy this like a normal game. Look at this, I'm moving. I can move in midair and not be slipping and sliding all over the place. In fact, there's more vertical resolution, so you can actually see more ahead of you than the Super Nintendo game. If this was released, this would have been the definitive 16-bit Dragon's Lair, and yet it was not. It was not to be. I'm so mad. Like, the Super Nintendo one I saw promise, but the way it played was just too horrible to put up with, but this version fixes that. This could have been the game to actually win people over. I keep jumping in that pit. I guess I like that pit. Let's try that one more time.
It's a good pit.
Not sicko enough, not allowed to be released, yeah. It's Dragon's Lair, it's gotta be fucked up and evil somehow.
I don't know if this actually has a password screen for us to look at, unfortunately.
Yeah, I didn't see a password option on the... Oh, actually, let's go ahead and look at the options.
Okay.
So there's a lot to this. I do want to play more of this, but I was just struck how much better it plays than the released Super Nintendo version. That's so messed up. They went through the trouble of actually fixing this game up and making it somewhat presentable, and yet, nope. It wasn't anything doing. Well, this is what the password screen looks like on Sega Genesis.
This is so normal. What the fuck?
This is a crime. This is a crime that this wasn't released. Someone believed in this. They fixed it up. Made it something the kids would want to play, and yet, well, at least we have the prototype ROM, right? At least we have the prototype ROM. And so ends the 16-bit console era of Dragon's Lair. But luckily, you know what's ahead. All those CD-ROM systems. It's multimedia, baby. Let's see how Dragon's Lair adapts to the new multimedia systems.
I'm so excited. It's got to be perfect now.
Yeah, like there's no excuse. You don't have to hire a coding genius on the Amiga to actually make this possible. You can actually just do this. So why don't we start off... I hate to do this, but we got to bring BizHawk into this. I was telling Alex earlier in the recent files for this, we still had Sega CD Monday games listed, so that's how long it's been since we've had to use BizHawk.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
It has.
So let us start with Dragon's Lair USA version for Sega CD.
Okay. I was just thinking about how awesome the Sega CD was today while I was doing dishes.
I think the resolution will change once I'm in game.
Okay.
Or I could be wrong. In which case, whatever, I'll fix it. Yeah, it's not fixing. Let's go ahead and scoot this over a little.
Okay.
Dragon's Lair, a fantasy adventure where you become a valiant knight on a quest to rescue the fair princess from the clutches of an evil dragon.
All right, I'm getting Time Gal vibes. This looks, if not redrawn, it's definitely.
They had to do some work.
Infested with treacherous monsters and obstacles.
Dozens of colors. Game's very loud.
In the
Okay, let me turn
mysterious
that down.
cavern
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
you go.
castle, your odyssey continues against the awesome forces that
I love how every single game on this stream is mixed differently.
Lead on, adventurer. Your quest awaits.
It's almost full screen. It's in a little bit of a bordered window, but there's a decent amount of video in this. Alright, Dragon's Lair for Sega CD. I rented this back in the day. I rented this. And you want to know what I was? I was in hog heaven because it was a new Sega CD game, first of all. But second, I discovered that this port was fucking impossible because they don't have the beeps and boops.
No beeps and boops!
You can push the buttons all you want. You will never hear a beep or a boop in this game. Thus, there is no feedback for what you're doing. Thus, it's incredibly, incredibly difficult. Yeah, you can't get past the first screen. That was a big problem people had back in the day. You gotta push the sword button once here, and then when he's halfway through the swing, you hold up. That's how you get past the screen. No feedback on if you're doing that right. You just kind of have to feel it. And here you have to keep tapping right until you proceed. Extremely frustrating. Back then, I was surprised. I thought, man, this arcade game is just fucking impossible, I guess. But let's see how this looks on Sega CD.
Okay, good job.
He becomes Salt. He doesn't just disappear like in the Amiga version.
Yeah, even Brain Dead 13 had beeps and boops. Too many, I might say.
Brain Dead 13 had too many beeps and boops. But you need some kind of feedback, right? You can't just play the video and then be like, oh, you died. Not going to tell you when or how you fucked up, but... So yeah, as much as I like Dragon's Lair, I found this port incredibly frustrating, especially this screen. I still have that sound of him dying there stuck in my head all these years later because I died there like literally 500 times. You gotta push up here, and then right when it flashes, you gotta hit right. Okay, that wasn't... I promise you I hit right.
I'm gonna say it. I think that the Amiga version is more impressive.
A little bit. Yeah, it was redrawn, and everything isn't all dithered to hell thanks to the 64 color limit here on the Sega CD. I would love to say the Sega CD version is definitive, but unfortunately, as one of the first ReadySoft developed ports, it's not so good.
Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair!
I do love the announcer voice, and I'm glad to finally hear that again.
On the other hand, this was also released for Mega CD in Europe and Japan, so let's check out the Japanese version. ReadySoft wasn't ready, it's true.
God, the Japanese...
Oh, now
Mega
you're
CD
super
used
big?
this
I
hype.
see how it is.
I'm sorry, babe. See, it's not so easy sitting in the director's chair, is it? I don't know why I went Joker version there.
That's the Joker jester.
It's the Jonker. That's what the Joker sounds like.
Jesus Christ. And it's true, this Japanese loading screen does go pretty hard.
It goes so hard.
Now what's notable about this ISO is that it's literally 2.5 times bigger than the US version. This is twice the size and more of the ISO. So this version adds multiple languages, and in fact was secretly programmed from the ground up. Why don't we hear this in Italian?
Oh, Italiano.
Yeah, Italiano. Added sound effects to the logo screen.
Dragon's Lair è una fantastica avventura dove diventerete l'impetuoso cavaliere che deve salvare la principessa dalle grinfie del drago malefico. Controllerete le azioni del coraggioso avventuriere che deve esplorare il castello di un banco malefico.
This sounds good in Italian.
I know, I love this!
Ah, bellissimo.
Ah, Oh, this is just making me Italy pilled. I love this.
Mamma mia.
Sorry.
Sotto al castello, la vostra odissea continuerà permettendovi di
That's a
vincere
good question.
queste
Is
immense
this from,
principali
like, are these from foreign dubs from, like, the Laserdisc version? Did the Laserdisc version have different dubs?
ti aspetta.
I'm not sure. Anyone know the answer to that? This could have been original creations by Sega and ReadySoft. So I think Sega co-published this in Japan and Europe, and they wanted this to perform better than the US version, which was a disappointment. So the Japanese version, they literally packed it in with a strategy guide, including how to get past this first segment.
Beeps!
And they added beeps and boops, and made the inputs much, much more forgiving, even though I died there. The game is completely redone between the Japanese version and the US version. The US version is like a barely finished prototype, while this
Yeah.
version is much more playable.
This is way better.
They added beeps, and even with making it easier, they really wanted to make sure people got this game, so the Japanese version is packed in with a miniature strategy guide. It's in a slightly bigger case than usual. So yeah, we got fucked. Over here, we got the shitty version that was super frustrating. Afterwards, they released a Sega CD port of Space Ace, which actually went too far in the other direction. It's way too easy. That's a game where you can just mash on the buttons and swirl the D-pad and you'll just beat the game. You'll get every input correct. This is still hard.
I kind of like that.
This is still pretty hard. But at least it does have the beeps, and it does have feedback, so it's a much smoother experience. Alright, one last attempt at this area. Okay, I tried doing it late, and that didn't work either. Okay, we saw some demand for the Japanese intro. Tell you what, I'll do you one better. Why don't we play the Japanese 3DO version of Dragon's Lair?
All right, here we go. Here we fucking go.
It's time to be some 3DO perverts.
Everybody give Danny a hand. Danny has been going through so many different programs, so many different inputs. It's been amazing.
It's mostly worked, except for the Sega CD, which rebelled. Of course it did.
It's always mad at us.
My favorite child treats me like that. Oh yeah, I have to actually put in the CD. Dragon's Lair, Japan, for 3DO. So supposedly this being a 32-bit system, probably going to have better video quality than what we've seen before, but it remains to be seen just how good of a port it is.
Dragon's Lair. 美しい王女の住むお城が邪悪なドラゴンの住処に変えられた。君は正義
That looks pretty good.
This is looking
ドラゴンを
alright.
倒して美しい王女を救い出せ。ドラゴンの魔力によって城は今や化け物の
Yeah, this is what $700 gets you.
I was gonna say it better get me something.
城の下の
I would have expected much better looking video, it's true,
道を阻む強
for the
敵が
3DO.
次々と襲いかかる。ドラゴンを倒し
Then again, this is a lot of video to put on one disc.
ファンタジーアドベンチャーゲーム
Yeah, I'm surprised it's able to hold this all.
Fantasy adventure game, Dragon's Lair. And the proof is in the pudding, as they say. Let's play the pudding. Do they say that?
It does look like it's VHS. Yeah.
Kind of does.
What the?
You notice what's missing?
The beeps and boops are fucking
There's
gone.
no beeps and boops. It's the equivalent of the US Sega CD version. It's just as fucked up. This 3DO and Sega CD port were unfortunately the very first ones ReadySoft made. They eventually made ports for DOS, Jaguar CD, which we'll see in a second. But the people who were the early adopters got royally fucked on this one.
Yeah, no skeletons either.
No beeps, no boops, no skeletons. At least not yet. Anyways, halfway through the swing, you gotta hold up. Completely different from arcade, but whatever. Do what you want. You're ReadySoft, I guess. Oh, you can't mash the inputs. You have to push them at the exact time. I was mashing right there. So even though I had the right inputs, it was the wrong timing. As they approach, hit the button. During the swing, hold up. And this scene, push right, but not at the wrong times.
Okay.
Well, fuck me, I guess. I
You
thought
got crushed. Oh, there's a skeleton. Okay.
Yeah, don't play the original Sega CD or 3DO versions of this game because they're practically unplayable. Weirdly enough, that first scene is the hardest part of the game. If you get further in the game, it's much easier and more forgiving. And you do have unlimited continues, so you can just eventually bash your head into it and eventually beat it. It's not the right way to play it, though. So I mentioned the Jaguar CD, a system that literally only had a dozen games released for it, but it's a CD-ROM system in the 90s, so one of them has to be Dragon's Lair. Let's play that. Between now and our last Jaguar stream, there's been a big development. Someone went and made a fully functional and perfect Jaguar emulator for PC, thereby completely obviating our need for original console or flash cart, which is how we played all the Jaguar games. This warning to Alex: this emulator begins with a jump scare.
Okay.
The people won't hear this, but we will. There we go.
No way! Cool.
It's pretty cool.
Pretty bloody.
Alright, so this thing is controller driven. Let's see how we do this. You gotta mount the images, and you gotta, like, fucking set a disk image, and don't play VidGrid.
Fancy, Richard.
It plays VidGrid perfectly, but that thing is a DMCA nightmare, so unfortunately we can't show it off, but we can show off Dragon's Lair.
Yeah, thanks, shit, man.
Thanks, shit, man. Did this also get too big? No, it's fine, actually.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I think. Yeah.
Dragon's Lair, the fantasy adventure where you become a valiant
It's a
knight.
fantasy adventure where you become a valiant
Rescue the
knight?
fair princess from
What?
the clutches of an evil dragon.
So far, so good. Looking good. Dirk's
You
looking
control
good.
the actions of a daring adventurer
This is
finding his way
more,
through the castle of a dark wizard.
it's more
As
compressed than
enchanted
3DO, but
treacherous
less
monsters enough
blown out in terms of
Yeah.
colors. It seems more naturally
It
colored.
doesn't. It's not as good, but it's way better. If
In
that
the
makes
mysterious
sense.
cabin
The quality
below
is worse, but the
castle,
colors are
your
better, I would
odyssey
say.
continues against the awesome forces that oppose your
Yeah, I
efforts
like
to
the
reach
giddy
the
goons in
Dragon's
this.
Lair.
God, it's a fucking miracle I can play Jaguar CD games on PC now. I can't believe that this is actually happening.
Awaits.
A lot of other shit in technology is regressing hardcore nowadays, but in terms of emulation, it's never been better. You can play Jaguar games perfectly.
Does this mean I can play Jaguar games on the Steam Deck?
Probably.
That's a nightmare. No one should be able to play portable Jaguar CD games.
Alex, have a listen.
Okay.
You hear it? It might be in the other speaker.
I think it's in the other speaker.
But there are boops and beeps in this version. And it does have the easier input from the revised Mega CD version. So, ironically, one of the most difficult to play versions of the game is also one of the best versions to play.
Oh, those boops are weird. They're really weird and low.
Yeah. So, if by some miracle you have a working Jaguar CD, and this game, you can actually play a pretty good version of Dragon's Lair. There's a lot of good, unique death scenes in that one scene. Let's see if we can get through this. This scene is notably fucked up in other versions. It's just super hard to time the inputs. Look at this. You can also prime your inputs. You can, like, do stray inputs and it doesn't punish you.
Oh, that's good.
This is resembling the arcade version a lot, actually. And then right. Oops. There he go again. Anyone keeping count? How many times has Dirk died so far? It's got to be like 70 or 80, right?
Yeah, you die about like 5 times per game.
Mm-hmm.
We've played however many games, yeah.
Yeah, the Japanese Sega CD version had the beeps and boops and the revised gameplay. The US version did not. It is much more difficult for some reason. My advice, if you have a Jaguar CD and the ability to play this, don't sell the Jaguar CD while it's still working. They're incredibly rare. You'll get so much money. Anytime you play a game on that, you're just taking years off of its lifespan. Sell it and make it someone else's problem. That's my advice. Okay, let's go right. And then up.
Yeah, every game you play on your Jaguar CD is like giving your Jaguar CD a cigarette. Don't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Shortens its lifespan. to not feature Jaguar CD Marlboros. Just don't do it.
Now, one of the few versions we're actually not going to see tonight is the Philips CDI version, which actually is a unique port. It does have the beeps and boops, however, it's more difficult, and I don't think it has continues. I know Dragon's Lair 2 on Philips CDI does not either. Oh, sorry for the noise there. Other than that, you're pretty much going to see every port here tonight. There's also DOS versions that I'm not going to show, because they look pretty much like the others. But that's Jaguar. That's what Jaguar Dragon's Lair looks like. They should have called it Jaguar's Lair.
They should have!
Alex, let's leap several years into the future. This is a time skip.
Okay, cool. I love time skips.
So we've seen the 3DO, we've seen the Jaguar, we've seen the Sega CD version. We are now in a time when none of those consoles are relevant anymore. We are in the late 90s / early 2000s.
Ooh.
And it's time to port Dragon's Lair to the Game Boy Color. Have you seen this, Alex?
No, I have not.
Well,
oh, wow.
Fucking get your ass ready for this.
My ass is getting ready.
Year 2000, published by Capcom. Yeah, the Game Boy Color. Literally the 8-bit Game Boy Color that is barely more powerful than the monochrome Game Boy Color. They put Dragon's Lair on it.
I look like... Wow! The Giddy Goons, the Lizard King, the Crypt Creeps, the Smithy.
Let's do it.
Okay. So it's going to be a platformer. No. No.
It's legitimately a port of the Laserdisc version, and it has the beeps and boops.
And it has the beeps and boops. This is impressive.
So, against all odds, this is so far the best way to play Dragon's Lair on a home system. You wouldn't think, right? You'd think this would be some kind of fucked up platformer that they reskinned, but no.
This is crazy.
This is the real-ass Dragon's Lair. Let's drink it. Oh, he doesn't melt.
Good skeleton. All right. Holy shit. The Game Boy Color skeleton were really impressive.
They had to make a lot of concessions. They redrew a lot of stuff, but all the inputs are there as far as I know. It's also pretty tough. But it's Dragon's Lair. It's got to be a little tough. Also, there's no digitized sound effects. It's all through the Game Boy's sound chip.
I kind of love that.
That guy got me.
He got you good. There's the Lizard King.
Wrong way.
Yeah, he smacked you good.
Yep, he dragged me off.
Got you all bonged up.
Let's play a little bit more.
Okay.
So you also may notice this is more compared to the arcade version in terms of level sequence. The other ReadySoft versions were the first to add a sequence of levels, as opposed to the arcade version, which just played every level in just kind of a random order. It looks like this also follows a sequence, but it does switch to new scenes every time you die, so that's pretty arcade genuine. Oh boy, how's this gonna look? They give you less time to react in this game is the problem, because there's so few animation frames, but... just the idea of playing this on a Game Boy Color is incredible.
Oh! Fucking Happy Pride Month. This port was developed by Catherine Mataga, an old school PC dev who went by a different name back then because she transitioned in intervening time. Cool!
Nice!
She did a great job! Holy
Man.
shit, this is so fucking impressive!
Nice fucking work, gotta say. We got one more life here.
Thank you for that info code, man. I'm really happy to know that. That's cool. I am... Wow, that animation!
Yeah, isn't this amazing?
This is so fucking good! What the hell?
Oh, I actually did it. So, unlike the Amiga version, all the scenes are here, or at least most of them. This is a fairly complete way to play Dragon's Lair. It's just in a way that you would never expect in a million years on the Game Boy Color.
That's so cool.
Incredible. Alright, let's skip forward a few more years. Let's find another system that may be more capable of playing Dragon's Lair in the early 2000s.
The Game Wave?
The Nintendo DS.
Oh, no! Okay.
How can they hope to port this, other than a direct port of, I don't know, the Game Boy Color version or something?
Yeah, would they do a nicer version? How?
Let's see how Dragon's Lair
Blooding
looks
out here. How do you do
on
this?
Nintendo DS. They did this. They put it on cartridge, too, I'm pretty sure. This is now the digital leisure era of Dragon's Lair, where they were porting this to DVD players and so on.
Dragon's Lair, the fantasy adventure where you become a valiant knight on a quest to rescue
And look at
the
this
fair
shit.
princess from the clutches of an
Look.
evil dragon.
How can the DS render footage look so good? It looks so much better than 3DO.
Amazing!
It looks so much better than Jaguar CD.
Monsters and obstacles.
So if there's one thing I've learned about Dragon's Lair, it's that the less capable the platform of emulating it, you may be able to expect much more than you would think. Game Boy Color did great. Nintendo DS looks like this.
Your quest awaits.
Cool.
Let's play the video game. In fact, while I set up the next game, Alex, why don't you play a few lives of this?
Okay, cool. I'm looking forward to this.
Can you see the screen and all?
Yeah, I can see it. So here's a fun thing. I'm not good at this game, even though I like FMV games. I'm in fact quite bad at FMV games, but I love them so much. They're my favorite. All right, arcade or home? I wonder what the difference is. Let's try arcade. Easy, please. I'm baby. Let's go. See the castle looks good. The purple background looks good. I'm in. Uh-oh. Oh. I got Cask of Amontillado.
No.
Yeah, I got my head all messed up. Okay, I'm on the horse! Oh! Right into the fire. Oh, that's no good. I like the horse. Okay, I need to start pressing directions. I got eaten by skulls.
Cool.
What button do I press? And I went into hell. Cool. Alright, hold on. I'm in the ballroom. See?
Just keep pushing down.
Okay. I didn't press down enough times. I was waiting for a beep. And my name? I am Ass's cooler, sleeker cousin.
The cousin of Ass.
I'm not good at Dragon's Lair, but that was pretty fun.
Give it another shot.
Okay, alright, let's go.
Become a valiant knight on a quest to rescue the fair princess from the clutches of an evil dragon.
I'm gonna try home. I wanna see what that's like.
Okay.
See what the difference is.
Yeah, finish it.
No!
Do it in one life. This is the Deathless Clear.
Oh, I see the difference. It's, I didn't press the right buttons. It looks like this version is probably in order, while arcade is, you know...
Mm-hmm. It adds that ReadySoft structure to the game.
Must finish it, no.
Alright, it's swing and then up.
No. Okay.
Oh, it adds names to the levels. This is the
Yeah.
vestibule.
Okay, here we go. I fall.
Yeah, and then swing and then up.
I think I'm pressing the wrong button for swing.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Try X.
Okay, let me try X here.
Thought it said vestibuk.
Kinda does look like that. Hey, I did it!
Hey, nice
Oh my
work.
god, I had... Wow, give me $1 million.
Good freaking job.
Oops. Last life, I think. I still have to do the vegetable?
Vestibule.
I hate eating my damn vegetables. Fuck this. No, I actually like my vegetables.
Alright, good. I'm glad we cleared that up. Okay, this next scene, just keep pushing right.
Okay.
Pay no attention to that audio you may be hearing.
That's me. Oh, I was wondering where that audio came from, and I fell into the,
I don't know if the people can hear the overlapping audio, but I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last game we're playing tonight is loaded up in the background. That's why it's playing music. There you go, Dragon's Lair for Nintendo DS. Inexplicably, one of the best ways to play the
Oh,
game.
unfortunately it is heard, but that's okay.
Alright, y'all. We're gonna do something a little bit different for this one. Don't freak out.
Okay.
Let me give myself a lot of space for this.
I do like the dramatic music that everyone's hearing. Dun, 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 dun. What? What is this?
Dragon's Lair Trilogy for Xbox One. This is the newest and latest way to play the game on PS4, PC, and Xbox systems. Supposedly definitive? Let's find out.
Alright.
Oh man, I get the chat on my screen. Cool. Let's see how this looks. I spent almost 0 time testing this.
Oh wow, look at this! This is fancy schmancy.
It is fancy as hell. Yeehaw. I need to make it so I can see our audio.
Yeah, they just were like, yeah, Space Ace is Dragon's Lair 3 now, don't worry about it.
Alright, here we go. Let's start a new game.
Move beeps on or off!
Alright, y'all, with any luck, this will be a complete playthrough of Dragon's Lair. We've been teasing this all night. Let's go ahead and play through the whole damn thing.
Go, Danny, go!
Keep the move beeps on, keep the move guide on. Not because I need it, because I just think it would be helpful if you guys saw the moves that I needed to do. Like,
That's right.
I have everything memorized perfectly, but you know. Let's do arcade, so we get randomized scenes. And let's play the freaking game. Directions and sword, that's too complicated. Wonder how this version looks. Maybe it'll be better than 3DO, maybe on par with Jaguar CD even. Oh, this looks alright.
Danny, this is just a laser disc.
Yeah, this looks pretty good.
Danny! This looks amazing!
I think 40 years later, we finally have a decent port of this game.
This is so funny pixel art. You also need to turn this down.
Okay, yeah, that makes it a little weird. Why do the wraiths sound like monkeys? Let's turn this down. All the authentic screaming from the original ignored one. I think the audio should be good. Now, a lot of these scenes you have to do multiple times just cause. Oh no, my foot! I need that.
Yeah, it is cropped for widescreen. That is unfortunate. That is a definite downer here, because I want to see all of the frames. But this is really impressive.
The way it looks.
Yeah.
Every single frame is so smooth. This, more than any other port, really shows off the quality of the animation. Oh, shit.
Yeah, nice beeping, too.
Yeah, decent quality beeps.
See the grain on the back of it. I love it.
Yeah, alright.
Sick.
Yeah, this version you can tell when I'm mashing. And it gives you a lot of leeway in actually doing the correct inputs. So it's much more playable than, I would say, even the original arcade game. If the gameplay is what you're after. Maybe that's why everyone was asking, is Dragon's Lair real? Because not only was it a miracle, it's a 40-year-old miracle.
It is!
Like, this was
really
shit that shouldn't have been
impressive.
possible in 1983, much less nowadays. I guess nowadays you can put this on pretty much anything. They make mini arcade cabinets. You can play this on a watch or a phone.
Yeah, you could play this on anything, couldn't you?
Oh, here's your boys.
Alright, here they come! Yeah!
I'm gonna lose here so we can join the boys.
Okay. Oh, you become a mud guy. That's cool.
Yeah, you join the boys.
Damn, just hanging out with the boys.
And there's infinite continues in this, so you can just blast on through.
Nice.
I beat this once. Let's see if I can do this. Some of the inputs are pretty precise. I think this scene is push up over and over. I think it's literally just up and two. Yep.
This is so sick.
This looks so good, dude.
This is just, I'm just enjoying the animation. This is great.
I'd say this is the way you can best enjoy the animation. Everything else, it's just like it tried, but, you know, limitations were in effect. Let's go here. I don't think there's a difference.
I always wondered if there was a difference. Okay.
Who doesn't love the caked up magma creatures?
We all love them.
Who, I say?
They're here for Pride Month, honey.
This looks so fucking good. I can see why this was such a hit back in the day. Because if you knew all the moves in this game, you would be the coolest kid. People would gather around and watch you play, apparently.
That's what the Stranger Things kids should have done. Instead of saving the world, they should have all gotten really good at Dragon Lair. It should have been like the entire season. They just waste all their quarters on it.
Save me!
Alex, I just realized something. We haven't even seen Daphne yet.
I know! All the 80s arcade dads in chat are pissed off.
Hold your horses, dads. You're gonna see some Daphne eventually. So you know that drawbridge scene that was impossible in a lot of versions of the game? It wasn't even in the original arcade release. It was on the disc, but you never actually ended up playing it. You never saw this scene either. This is good shit.
This is awesome. Yeah!
Here you go.
Get bonked, idiot.
Full frame, full quality Lizard King for your pleasure. It's kind of a high concept here. There's a sentient treasure chest that you have to chase down. It's also magnetic, so it has your sword. There's a lot that goes unexplained in this game. I like how it was trembling. What an asshole.
Just taking some money. I don't know. Maybe he deserves it.
Maybe. He's
He
been through a
deserves to
lot.
get paid.
He deserves a little gold after dying 100 times, literally. Just go right here. Don't go for the diamond. See this on Jaguar. This looks a little bit better here.
Way better.
Yeah, he's earned that cash. We haven't seen this scene either. I just think this particular format, that being a crazy castle full of bullshit, is a really good format for a Laserdisc FMV game in particular.
It's a good format for video games in general.
Just because the action is so frantic, and it's basically just a given that all the different shit you're going to see in the castle is all crazy and it's going to change constantly. There's no downtime, there's no dialogue, there's no character development, it's just action. Just the way I like it. I don't need to know the tragic backstory of the Black Knight.
I sure don't either. I just want to see the Wizard King over and over.
Yeah, him I want to know about.
I want him to bonk me on the head.
Drag you off.
Yeah, goodbye, everybody. Got a splitting head.
Oh, we saw this on Amiga.
Oh yeah, we did.
This looks a little bit better here. Oh, good scream.
A lot of screams tonight.
A lot of screams, a lot of death. Hope you like screaming death.
Could be worse.
Alex, I have a confession.
Uh-huh.
I've never beaten Dragon's Lair 2, and I'm going to do it the first time on Friday.
I think you can do it.
Do you know about Dragon's Lair 2?
I've played a bit of it, yes.
It is essentially the FMV equivalent of the Tower of Jiraga, because there's a lot of extra shit the game doesn't tell you about.
Yeah, I know there's items you need to pick up and stuff like that.
Yeah, you need all of them to beat the game.
Really? Because I always skip items when I play.
Oh, well. Yeah. I've never gotten far enough for that to be an issue, but you do need to collect all the bonus shit. Shit. So with any luck, my very first playthrough will be on Friday. Or I'll rage quit after 3 hours.
Cool.
Oh?
I also make that noise. Yeah, he does sound like Homer Simpson when he screams.
A pre-Homer.
I just want to say, everybody always talks about how beautiful Don Bluth's water is, and they're fucking right. Amazing water. You
Very
just can't go
good-looking
wrong
water.
with his water, what can I say? Bro loves his water. Rightfully so.
That's a nice little trick they put at the end. You gotta know to grab the chain. Time to scream some more. 1, 2, 3. Makes me want to drink Slurm. It did look like delicious
It
Slurm.
did.
Which Don Bluth movie had the horny dragon TF?
Could that be any of them?
I think that's actually Dragon Lair 2, not the spoiled 2 legend.
Oh no! Wow! You gotta beat that game.
Yeah.
If you don't get to that scene, you're fired from streaming.
I never figured out what the deal with this thing is. Like, there's possible inputs here, but they're tricks. You gotta go for the third duck here.
Everyone's talking about Bartok the Magician.
I was wrong.
Why are you all thinking about the direct-to-video sequel to Anastasia? Are you
All
all
dogs go to
okay,
heaven
chat?
had a horny alligator. That's true.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
I've never seen Bartok the Magnificent. It's just none of my business, that movie.
I don't need to know about that guy.
Yeah, I don't need to know about the bat from Anastasia.
I fucked up. I thought the scene
Isn't
was
it like
over.
Nosferatu's bat? Not Nosferatu, I'm an idiot. Who is that guy? Rasputin, isn't it Rasputin's bat or something?
Is that it?
Yeah, like Rasputin's a big part of Anastasia.
I like that there's a lot of reused animation in here, but every time I see it, I'm like, good. Save yourself the work. You already animated too much. Mostly in the way Dirk moves. There's a lot of original animation in this. That's why it looks so good. Look at that.
I am so glad I remembered it was Rasputin's bat who transformed into that. It's the Giddy Goons!
There they are.
Finally!
Uh-oh.
You got boinged.
That
You
was
got get boinged.
I got
didn't
Hanna-Barbera boinged. Even shit like the crumbling floor just looks so good. So
does.
impossibly good. So high frame. Spider alert.
It's me when I see a spider.
Ah!
Save me!
Gotta do this again. Put it in reverse. We're about halfway through the game, I think. Yeah, Dragon's Lair, especially this version, is a very nice, breezy playthrough. You can fuck up, see some death scenes, but you'll eventually get through it. Dragon's Lair 2, though, we'll have to see how that goes. Just keep pushing right in that scene.
Hell yeah.
No, we don't need this.
Yeah, we're not thirsty.
How many times we drink that tonight? At least 3.
The stage version of Anastasia removed Rasputin altogether? But then who is the sidekick to? Well, that's an epic fail if I ever heard one.
Alex is upset.
I am upset. I've never seen the Broadway version of Anastasia.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah,
Pissed
I'm
off
the pissed off
Rasputin.
Rasputin gamer.
Justice for Rasputin. Very tight up input here. You gotta be ready for it.
Smack that bat.
He was huge.
Bat's dead.
Up and sword and up and sword. No, left, because it's flipped. Damn it.
You were doing so good.
Oh! I've been coffin pilled.
Save me!
Shit. Eaten by skulls.
I was gonna say, you're getting eaten by skulls, honey.
Save me!
Keep keeps making me play this, so I think this is the last stage. It's just the last stages. Maybe we'll get into new stuff like that. Alright, Alex, how many attempts do you think it'll take for me to beat Singe? That's a very long final level with no checkpoints.
I'm gonna say 3.
3? Okay. Let's see if I can do it.
Seems like a good number.
This stage was on Amiga. Eaten by bats.
A lot in this game.
Buddy, you ain't seen the half of it. I gotta show you Dragon's Lair 2.
Oh, wrong fun. We have definitely played Time Gal.
I love Time Gal. Time Gal's so good.
We're Time Gal freaks here.
I prefer the Sega CD version, which was entirely redrawn to be Sega CD fun. Basically, I like games that take a heartbreaking amount of work for very little payoff. That's all you gotta do to impress me. I'll say it, this game doesn't feel like it's 40 years old. It still feels kind of new. Feels like something they would barely pull off at the end of the 20th century. Nice, finally did it. This again, but reverse. 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
And that's why to this day people are asking, is it a real arcade game? Or is it just some bullshit Stranger Things made up? Alright, revenge time. These goons are too giddy for my taste.
Get their ass.
They sound like monkeys.
I want some normal goons. Alright, here we go.
Here we go, last level. It's a very long sequence with no checkpoints.
Thank you, Bella Lugosi. 7-month resub Game Boy Color Dragon Lair is for... Yeah, it's really good.
It sure
Look at
is.
that.
Thank you for this. One.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Alright, that's attempt 1.
Alright. Yeah, it's a good name.
Yeah, I love that name.
Y'all are about to see maximum HD quality Princess Daphne. Try to control yourselves.
Oh,
Singe is cool as hell.
Hey, try to control yourself over Singe, too.
Can't!
please save me. The cage is locked with a key. The dragon
Pointy.
keeps it around
Danny!
To slay the dragon, use the magic sword.
Well,
I know. It was very horny. You can't deny that Daphne was made hornily.
Ooh.
this is why all the dads played all the way through this game.
Yeah, it is. I do love Singe, though.
He's a big fat dragon.
He is. It's great.
Very classic style. He has a nice board, too. Shit!
That's attempt 2?
Back to the beginning. I like that he does the Howard Dean yell at the beginning.
I do, yeah.
Dirk is unelectable. Hit you with the old butts and boobs.
Oh,
I also love that Daphne is literally Don Bluth's favorite sparkle effect. Oh my god, Don Bluth loves that sparkle effect. Look at that.
please
Totally.
save me. The cage is locked.
Like, if you watch enough
With the
Don
key.
Bluth stuff, you will
The
see a
dragon
lot of
keeps it around
sparkles.
his neck. To slay the dragon, use
Yeah, okay,
the magic
honey.
sword.
Yeah, okay, just tell us.
Ooh, I sure hope no one uses the magic sword on that dragon.
Ooh.
Yeah, the sparkle effect was used in Xanadu as well. I love that sparkle effect.
The
Also,
Xanadu animated
if you're a Don Bluth fan, check out the musical Xanadu. It's an exclusive Don Bluth animated sequence. Also, it's a great movie. You should see that. Yes! She doesn't seem too stressed with whatever's going on.
That was the last input!
Did you drop it?
I dropped it!
That's 3.
I dropped the damn magic sword. I almost did it. I fucked it up on the last possible input. You gotta use the magic sword, you can't just grab it.
Yeah, the way that Dirk Dirk actually goes awooga at her is kind of weird at the beginning. It's a very quick awooga. I never noticed it until I've seen it in like this HD.
It's very sudden and kind of forceful and violent. Like, ah! I also like the fact that the layer itself is kind of a problem because he has so much shit in there.
Save me! The cage is locked with a key. The dragon keeps it around his neck.
Yeah, I just thought I'd show you all this animation again,
Dragon
in case you didn't see it the first time.
That's for everybody.
She's pointing right at the chat. She's talking to y'all.
Got it.
Xbox! Xbox! No! What are you doing?
Did X your input?
The Xbox dropped my input and dropped the rest of the video. Wait. No, don't. Just, okay, we gotta give it some time to rest. Alright, Xbox.
Let's give it a second.
Xbox. Okay.
Okay, I think it's better now.
Let's try that again. Oh, this could be Spectrum. Right?
It really could.
The evil
He
Spectrum.
does do an awooga. He's like, ah! He like, if you look at it, his eyes like and mouth go, ah! Which is very funny.
I told her because it killed me, but she didn't see it. I don't think this is Spectrum. I think this is my Xbox One being very unhappy with me for some reason. It's perfectly before stream.
Yeah.
This Xbox version is on sale this week. It's only $10. It's 20 on other systems. It's also on Switch and PC. I didn't see that. Stream being iffy and the games being iffy. You got to hear him yell a lot, at least.
Yeah, that's good.
Alright, this is the one. I think the Xbox has stabilized itself. Xbox, create new partition for Dragon's Lair.
Oh!
I think the dragon's kind of like a sleeping bear.
I like that too.
Please save me! The cage is locked with a key. The dragon keeps it around his neck.
Sorry, I didn't realize
Slay
he was doing
the
the
dragon.
little buzz
Use
in
the
pose
magic
for 1
sword.
moment. I respect it, honestly.
I respect boobs and butts.
I gotta respect something, you know?
I showed off 20 different systems on this stream. Do you know how many OBS sources I had to make for this? Can your all-in-one entertainment game console please play the fucking 40-year-old game? Thank you. Nobody buy Xbox. Worst deal in the game. Pay me to say otherwise. Then there's like a... Oh, and then you gotta just push the button. There we go. We win.
You won! I was just like, no. And she's freed, okay.
Huh? What? Huh? What? Huh? What? Okay. We win. We won, everybody. You got to see most of that. I love that out of the ZX Spectrum, the Amiga, the Amstrad CPC, the NES, Famicom, Super Nintendo, Super Famicom, Genesis, Mega Drive, Atari, Jaguar CD, stupid jerker. This is all his fault.
This is the Jorker. The Jorker got revenge.
My whole computer shit itself. It
It
just wouldn't do
did.
anything. I had to unplug it from the wall. It refused to shut itself down. It rebelled. The robots are taking over. All right, I might as well record the final portion for our YouTube archive of this week's episode. Thanks to all y'all who stuck around.
Thank you.
Wow, what a game that was! Dragon's
Yeah,
Lair. We saw so many ports of it, and most of all, everything went correctly and nothing went wrong. Thanks to all our patrons for voting to make this week's theme possible. It's because of y'all that we played Dragon's Lair instead of Donkey Kong or Mortal Kombat. You made the right choice. That was a very interesting stream to put together, and hopefully you found it interesting. All right, Alex, why don't you wrap us up? I'm going to look for a raid target.
We are also on Patreon if you'd like to support us directly. Patreon.com/retropals. Pitching at least $5 a month, you get a vote on when we play every Wednesday. This week you were like Dragon's Lair. We need the Giddy Goons, goddammit, and we supplied you the Giddy Goons. So thank you all to everyone who voted and supported us at the Patreon. Thank you. We are also on YouTube, youtube.com/retropals. We post full-length highlights of our streams there, including our latest one, which, if I recall, let me just remember what that was real quick. That was Sick and Twisted SNES game. Sick and Twisted SNES game. So if you want to see some, that was where me and Danny chose bad games for each other to play, and we kind of went wacky.
A little wacky, yeah.
A little wacky mode.
All right, y'all. Thanks everybody for watching. Play Dragon's Lair. It's a good game. Or at least watch the animation. It's excellent animation. Leaving y'all with Rachel Retro, who's just playing whatever. And I'm in the mood for whatever, so let's do that. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good evening. See you later.
See ya, folks.